Hello and welcome to TCA 2020. We are excited to have you here with us today. We have the awesome Tommy Spall with us today. He's an educator out of Brenham. He has been an instructional technology specialist for 6 years, but he's been doing some awesome things in the classroom too. So we're really excited to bring him live across the world globally. I also have with me Jeanette Mercer, who is here from Aldine. So we're representing today. So we're going to make sure that you actually get Tommy's top tech tips so that you can actually go back to your classroom and rock that. So remember, your learners are the most powerful things in the world, so you can always bring more to them. So I'm going to say welcome to everyone. And Tommy, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready to do this. Let's go.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thanks for the introduction. I am Tommy Spall. You can find me on Twitter at Tommy Spall. The presentation I'm going to do for you today, this morning, is Tommy's top tech tools. If you want to get back to this presentation, I have the link down here in the lower right hand corner. You can get to me by going to bit.ly/TCCA and then three T's, TTT. Tommy's Tech Tools. So, and then if you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Tommy Spall. And I'm always tweeting. I'm following the stream right now. So hit me up and then use the hashtag. Make sure you use the hashtag TCCA 2020. So let's just hop into this presentation. I have a bunch of tips. Some things I want to show you. Maybe you've seen some of these tech tips before. Do not worry. Maybe I can add some insight to how you can use those in your field or in your job or whatever grade level you're working with or subject matter. So if you see it, be like, okay, I've seen that before, but maybe he'll say something different. So let's just hop in and go right here. All right, so my first tool I wanted to show you is definitely probably in my top two. It's one of my favorite. It is flippy.net. Some of you have heard of it before. What is flippity.net? Well, it's a great tool. All of your activities within flippity.net, and it has over 20 different activities you can do. Each activity is tied to a Google Sheet. So what does that mean for you? That means that any of these activities can be easily changed, manipulated, added your content, and then sent out to your students that they can do them. These activities are also great for a whole group if you're working with younger students or if you're in a one-to-one or remote kind of situation. Most of these activities will work for you as well. So if I exit my presentation real quick and I just go over to flippity.net, you can check out the simple website. It's managed and created by one gentleman, and he just keeps up with it. He does really good updates. Already this year, we've already had 5 really good updates. So let's just walk through some of these, and so you can kind of see what the activities are like. So the first one I really like is this quiz show. It was started with the flashcards. Originally, when Flippity came out, that's why it's called Flippity, because it was just flipping the flashcards. So he had just this one activity years ago, and then he's added to it. So this quiz show, at the bottom of each activity, there is demo, instructions, and a template. So if you just wanted to check out and see what that is like, you can click on the demo. It'll hop you straight into a demonstration of what this activity looks like when it's all done. And then you can just go through it. The reason I love this quiz show so much compared to other quiz shows that you've probably seen on like Smart Notebook or online is that it has really good team function. So you can keep track of the teams. It'll do points to and points against. So it adds and subtracts the points. And it's easy to edit any of these titles and the content in here. So if I click on content, comes up with the word, I can say, oh, that was loud, which team gets it right or which team gets it wrong. And then I can flip it over and it has the answer. And then I'll keep track over here on the left of the points. And then whichever team got it right, it has a little dot that says, hey, you're the next team to go. So again, has tons of great activities. Let me hop back in there, exit out by accident. So when I'm going through these, like I just showed you, I have the demo, but then he also has really good instructions. So if I click on instructions, you can go through and it shows you exactly what you need to do. And then Shift Control T, by the way, if you do that like I do, and you exit out of a tab, Shift Control T will get you back to the tab you were on. So if I go back, and then the last part is the template. So let me show you what a template is. So if I click on the template within flippity.net, it's going to automatically force me to copy this. Where is it going to copy this to? It's going to copy straight to my Google Drive. So if I do click on make a copy, it's going to copy this into my drive. Now, I've copied hundreds of these activities. So what's the first thing anyone should ever do if they copy a template? Always go up to the top and then just call this whatever you want. So I could do content, anything I want to do. When you're ready to publish, all you have to do is go to file. You have to do this with every one of your activities, file, and then you have to publish to the web. Once you publish to the web, so I'll just do that for you. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to publish? Yes, publish. Okay. So what does that do? Basically, it turns it into a web page version, which is, I call the pretty version of what this is. So there, I published it. I'm ready. Down here on my tabs, I have the demo or the get link. So after I edit all my stuff, I publish my sheet. I go to get link. And then here is my link that I can click on. And here is the pretty final version of my activity. This is what it looks like, just like the demo. Okay. So that is flippy.net. It's really fun. Everything is tied to a sheet. I even save my Flippies, my final version of it, my finished product. I save it in a web page, just a bookmark. So I bookmark my activities just so they're always ready to go. Another one that I really like on flippy.net is Name Picker. My whole next session that I'm going to do is all on Flippy. So if you want to learn more about the activities as I go down, you can join me for that session. I'm going to go through each one of these. But let me show you this one real quick just because I love it. It's a name picker. Has a quick name picker that you can edit these names in the Google Sheet. But what I love about this one the most is the way that it's grouped. So I could do single name if I'm just pulling like the old school popsicle sticks. I can do a lineup if I'm, wanting to line up my kids in a different order. So it has them all in order. But what I love is when I'm grouping my students, especially when I'm in like station rotation or a blended learning environment, I love to quickly be on the fly, that I don't have to sit there with my popsicle sticks and be like, okay, I want this kid with this and this kid over here. So what it does for you is it puts these kids in groups of 2 or groups of 3. Let's say I know that Spencer will not work with this group. This is not going to be a good day for Spencer. So I can take Spencer and I can click on Jack and I can switch Spencer and Jack just like that. Let's say I look at all these names. I'm like, oh man, they randomize these groups so bad for me. This is not going to work out. I know this is not going to work out. So I can just click on the randomize button up here and it'll switch all of my kids in that group. I also like the jigsaw for jigsaw groups. So if I want to split these into 3 columns, so I want Denzel, I want Jessica, I want Kate, I want Meryl, I want them all to be in one group by themselves. And then I want Jack, Catherine, Robert, Marlon to be in one group by themselves. I can click on this little jigsaw piece and it splits those kids up into those groups so they can go talk. So I could have go back here. And I could have each kid. So this kid's going to research this. This kid's going to research this. This kid's going to research this. Put them in a jigsaw group. So now they can go back to the main groups and talk to those kids. So it's a cool thing to do. You also have a bunch of other ideas up here that you can split. So again, join my session next that I go into more in depth on flippity.net. It's such a great activity. It's such a great website to go to and use in your classrooms. They have tons of activities. I also did for you on this presentation, I made my little cheat sheet over here of exactly how to go through this lesson. So how do you can go through the activity, edit it, publish it. So a lot of people get stuck on that when you first do the lesson. You're like, oh my gosh, Tommy just went too fast there, or I didn't follow that up. So here you go. So here's a cheat sheet that will walk you through that step. Every activity has a demo, instructions, and a template. Join me next for that as well when we go through that. And then I also did a full breakdown of each tool that you can go see on a blog post. So you can check that out. Some similar websites also to this, like I mentioned earlier, is Jeopardy Labs. I love Jeopardy Labs. It's a great website. Everything, most of the stuff in my presentation here is linked. So if you have the bit.ly down here, bit.ly/TCCA you can get back here and you can click on any of these links. So Jeopardy Labs has over 2 million content created Jeopardy games that you can just hop into really quick. You can play whole group, or you can send those out to your students. They have a lot of good websites for all content activities, and it looks just like an old school Jeopardy board. And then EduCandy is a really fun website that lets you kids go through different activities. They have a couple on here. This is a little bit more little kid friendly, but it's a neat website to go through. And they have things like matching games and crossword puzzles and stuff already that's ready for you just to edit your content, and then it's already built for you. So they build the template, you add your content, and you're good to go right there. So definitely check out Jeopardy Labs and EduCandy. All right, Flipgrid. Flipgrid's been around for a couple of years now. We love Flipgrid in our district. Some different ways that we've been using it in the past is what really stood out is our talent show. So, like, especially in the years past when we weren't able to bring all our students to the stage. Some kids can't come to the stage, whether they have a disability, whether they're too nervous about coming to the stage, whether or not they can't bring their talent to the stage, such as like in our small town of Brenham, we have a lot of kids that do like 4-H or they do roping or rodeo or stuff like that. We have kids that come to the talent show online and they are jumping on their trampoline at home. We can't bring that to the stage. So we have all the kids submit all of their ideas on a virtual Flipgrid. What is Flipgrid? Flipgrid is just a great web tool. It's a video tool that kids can, or teachers, your staff can submit videos. So you make the question and then you can set a time limit like between 15 seconds to 5 minutes of how long you want the kids to submit. And then all the people that submit on your Flipgrid, it's all video. So everything is a video response. So it's really cool to get insight from your kids. We love to use it in our district for all things such as read alouds, digital literacy, having kids work out math problems. They hold up non-digital whiteboards. They'll just hold up notebooks, and they'll go through and they'll solve out their problems using Flipgrid. People need to understand that video is such a powerful thing, especially when you take your videos that you have documentation of these students doing these projects, or a student doing daily read alouds or trying to read in the journal. You take that to RTI, or you take that to an ARD meeting or an administrative meeting, and you walk in, you're like, okay, here's what it looks like on paper, but here's this kid actually trying to read these paragraphs or these sentences. It makes a big difference. So Flipgrid's such a powerful tool. The other reason I love Flipgrid, and I've seen this in the past, especially with remote teaching, teachers want things submitted to them. And if they say, hey, I want you to submit videos, here's the problem the teacher has. He or she might get in 20 or 24 different video formats. You might get things shot on an iPhone. You might get things shot on an Android. You may get things from way different formats. Some might be not held the right way. Some might be it just might be a conundrum for you to try and collect all of those videos. Then you have to have a place to store all those videos. What Flipgrid does for you and makes it so much easier, Flipgrid takes all that and it has one file format. So the kids just open up the app. You can do it from the phone. I have parents that do it on the phone. They can do it on a Chromebook, any device that has a camera attached, and they can just record their videos and submit. And then the teacher has their dashboard where they can see all of the video submissions, which is just, it's so much easier to collect that information. So if you want your kids to show you something, show you a science experiment, you want them to show you a math or doing a read aloud from home or in school, it doesn't matter where, have them do it, set up the Flipgrid. You can set up the topics and just go from there. So Flipgrid is a great tool. Another way that I've seen it used, here's the Flipgrid for the talent show. I made this little handout. It's a template. You can have it. the front and the back, and then I just took them, put them together on one sheet of paper, and this got sent home to the students so they knew that they could submit for the talent show. Another thing that I really love that one of our teachers did is they made a summer connections Flipgrid. So the kids were leaving for the year. She opened up Flipgrid, quickly made a topic and said, hey, all summer long, no matter where you go, vacations, anywhere you go, I want you to grab the app on your parents' phone or your phone. This was elementary, but whatever. So the parents had the app, and then they would just record that topic for that topic and submit all summer long. You could submit. We had kids submit in like 2 or 3 videos a day on their trips to like Michigan or Maine or going to like different locations. If they were celebrating something, they could do that. What's also cool is not just for a summer activity doing this, but doing this throughout the school year. So you could just have a Flipgrid open. You could do one for talk to the teacher. So every time that you have an issue, you have a problem, you can make your videos on your Flipgrid. When they get submitted, you can make those private, so not everybody can see those, and they can just start submitting those videos, and you can talk to them via video, and it's easy for them to submit. You can also have this open all year long, and whenever you guys go on a field trip or go somewhere, you guys can record those videos for you. The last story, which was really cool, we had a teacher in our district that created a Flipgrid over when the kids were on winter break. And she did the persuade, entertain, and inform. So the PIE, the PIE. And so each day she did a new one. So she sent it to kids on Remind, or some of the kids got through Google Classroom, and they said, okay, so today, while you're at home, I want you to persuade the rest of the class why your lunch at home is the best. So the kids got on their phones, they recorded the Flipgrid, and they said, okay, here's why my lunch is the best. And so all these cute kids at home are submitting the videos and being able to persuade. The next day it was entertain, and then the next day it was the topic of inform. So they took their learning home, and they were able to create these videos, went back to school, and then they showed the videos. It was a great way to make those connections with your other students in the class. All right. Student portfolios, each student is a topic. I've seen that being done in class. So of course, if you make a topic, you can make it just for that kid. Instead of saying the topic is today's math problem or science experiment, whatever, you could say the topic is little Tommy Spall. And so every time I go up to my Chromebook or computer, I could take my QR card and scan it. I could sign into my Flipgrid however I want to get to that. And then I know that that topic is just for me. I'm the only one that has that link. So when I record my daily fluency or my assignments or anything like that, all those go to one topic, which is just me. So all my videos are populating where the teacher can go into my topic and see all the videos I have for the whole year. So it's almost like a run-in portfolio with all video, which is really neat. Sight word review, I've seen kids doing just sight words. So they have the list of sight words in front of them or flashcards, and then they have to click play or record on their Flipgrid, and then they have to go through the cards, and when they're done, they click stop, and then they're done. So it's just a great way that the teacher can see the kids doing the sight word review. Great for presentations because you can start and pause your Flipgrids as you're going through. Debates and conversations, because you can also take one of the kids' videos. If they had a really good video in class, you can take that and then move it up and record on that as well and say, okay, now I want you guys to all respond to this kid's video. It used to be called Spark. They don't have Spark anymore, but that's what it was. And then easy for students to submit video files, like I was saying earlier. Don't forget another tool that I threw up here that's great for video. This is more of a teacher creation tool, is Edpuzzle. What is Edpuzzle? I'm sure most of you guys have heard about it, but we just love it in our district. We actually ended up going with the pro license this year for all of our teachers and staff. Edpuzzle is a great website that you can take your video, make your video, put your video in there. You can also pull from YouTube if your district allows YouTube, Khan Academy. So what you can do with that video is you can take that video and then you can do stopping points within your video. So you can do multiple choice question. You can do true or false. I love it. I love to use it for making content. And then you can also narrate on top of the whole video if you wanted to. Let me get out of there you go. So I have just videos that you can create in here. You can upgrade your school, and then you have content, and you can just build your content in here, which is just really neat to do that. And then you can add stopping points if you wanted to, narrations, cool stuff like that. So when you send that kid that video, they have access to that. So it's really cool. I always showed my kids the same Magic School Bus video every year. So what I did is I took that Magic School Bus video, I put it in Edpuzzle, and then I did stopping points. So as the video is playing, it quickly stops. The kids can answer the multiple choice questions. I always did whole group, so they would go up to the smart board and then click on the right answer and work on the presentation or the video as a class. But each of these, the kids, you can actually, it links to Google Classroom, so the kids can get on there and they can go into Edpuzzle and they can do it by themselves. You can also have a lock mode where the kids cannot skip forward through the video, so they have to play the whole entire video. Administrators, listen closely. This is great for you if you want to do any of your videos like that. You can see how many people have watched your video, how far they've gone into your video. And those district people that do the sexual harassment and bloodborne pathogen videos, if you want to use it for that, go right ahead. I'm probably just made a lot of teachers mad because you can't skip through the videos. So bam. So that's Edpuzzle. It's great. Another one of my favorite tools I like to use has become less popular this year because Google Meet and Zoom have just taken over for a lot of great video functions. I still use a lot of times whereby.com. It's a web chat kind of website that you can have your camera on. You can do a chat between you and 4 people, so you and 3 other folks. It's a small room. Why do I like it? I like it because it's kind of like the old school chat room. Like you go in, it makes you like today's meet or something like that. It makes a link, a static link. That's just a website. It's your own room that you can go have your discussions and chats in virtually, like Google Meet or Zoom. But what I also like is you can lock that room. You can unlock that room. So it's great for a static that stays as that link. So I just made mine whereby.com / and then whatever you want. So I did my last name. So when you go to that, you can just go in there and have those conversations. What's also neat is that the other person does not need to have any kind of login. They don't need a Google account. They don't need a Microsoft account. They don't need any kind of account because it's basically just a website that you send them that one static link and they can hop on. Great for parent conferences. So you can set up your conferences all day and then say, okay, just hop on this link. You can send that same link to all of your parents and say, hey, just come in. So what happens is if you lock your room, what's going to happen is you're going to see those parents trying to get on at their time and it'll show their video and they'll be knocking. It's like a knock. So they are knocking at your digital room to get in there so they can have the video conference. And so you can click allow, they come in and then your room's locked to anybody else. So if the next parent is coming in like 15 minutes later, they can't come into that conversation until you say goodbye to the person you're with. Also great for finishing those conversations so they don't stay with you for 2 hours. And then you can nicely, politely kick them out of the room and then the next parent can come in. So it's good for that. It's good I use it for my office hours. So if any teacher is like, hey, I need to talk to you via a web conference, I can say, oh, okay, hop on my link that's in my signature of my email, and they hop in and we can have a quick discussion. It's easy, no sign up, no logins. It's also great. And the main reason I still use it is because I use it for my mom. My mom and dad do not have any kind of email addresses or accounts or stuff like that. So I just called my mom and said, okay, mom, you can hop on here. They still use like Yahoo accounts for email, actually. And so I'll send her that one link and she has it bookmarked. So whenever she wants to see the kids or have a video conference or have dinner with us virtually, she just has to go to that website that we have and she can hop in and it starts automatically. So it's really great for all of that. So that's whereby.com. It's just another great website. My buddy Meredith Akers and I have Fresh Thought EDU together. We do that, and we film all our videos in here because it's a nice window pane session. So when we're recording it, it records really nicely, and the quality of the videos is really good too. All right, some different communication tools that we definitely encourage you, or I encourage you to use in your classroom. My first one is backchannelchat.com. I like to use this a lot in the upper grades because it's kind of like, again, like the old school AOL chat rooms. So you can set up that back channel chat just by going to backchannelchat.com. You can set up that chat, and then as your kids start hopping in, they can just go into that chat. And then it's a simple chat thing that you can get into, and your kids can talk in there. You can moderate it. You can lock up the chat. You can have questions at the bottom. So this is a great way to set up those back channel chats at the beginning when you want to do that. We use it a lot for presentations. So if you're going to presentation room and there's like 200 or 300 people in there, sometimes we use like a back channel so people can ask questions and stuff like that. So back channel chat is good. Also great for like Socratic circles or having your kids have that dialogue and discussions. You can also print off the whole entire transcript when you're done, which is nice for documentation purposes. Padlet's been around for a long time. It was really popular when it first came out. And it was just set up as just Padlet, which was just a one-page splash, and you could only add text to it. So if you hop into that Padlet, if you click on that link, you can actually come into my Padlet. And what I love about this Padlet, and you can add, but the question I asked up in the upper left-hand corner is currently, what is your favorite tech tool? So if anybody wants to hop on here, again, my presentation is down here, bit.ly/TCCATTT. You can get to this. And you can click on that Padlet right here and then hop in here and start answering. So what I love is when I click on the create button down here, I can create any kind of thing that I want to right here. I can add stuff. But what else I love, update. What else I love is right here, I can add a picture from my computer. I can link stuff. I can Google search within Padlet. So if I have all my kids hop on and I want them to go through here and just do some Google searches, videos, audio, GIFs, they can add all that with that Google search right here. So I could say the topic up here, I could say the topic is researching an animal. Well, the kids can go on here and add their Padlet portions to here by doing a Google search and add it. Snap, you can take pictures and photos from your camera that's on your Chromebook or your phone or your desktop. Film, voice, which is great for recording MP3s. If you don't want to do the full video thing, like up here, the video, the film, or like Flipgrid, you can just have your kids do MP3s on here and it records the audio. They can record their screen. They can also have a digital whiteboard, a canvas they can doodle, which is great for math and solving out math problems on here. And then all the other kids can see the other kids' responses and then place and stuff like that. So that is just, it's great. And I see that people are adding stuff to this board. And so it's cool. It's a great website to have those discussions. We love using Padlet. Mentimeter is another one of my favorite tools. If I go to Mentimeter, if I click on that link, you have access to that link right here. You can get to there. If I go here, I can get to Mentimeter, which is just a great way to set up questions for your teachers. So they can answer. I did a short answer here, right? It says, how do you model instructional tools or strategies for your staff? You can write your answer in here and then you can submit it. So on my end, this is what it looks like on here. So if I just go to Mentimeter and I log in, or I'm in as the teacher, I can go to my presentations. And this is what it looks like from the teacher's dashboard. I can click on TCA 20. I can hop in. I can go to present mode. And this is what it looks like. So I can have this up on my whiteboard in class. And then they can just click on www.menti.com on their Chromebooks, or I can put that in Google Classroom, or I can send it to my students. And then the code up here is they have a code 768347 or 8. So you can do it this way, or you can have that link that I put into my presentation. When you clicked on the link, it went right to the answer for the kids to type in the answer. So whichever way you want them to get there, you can do either one. And then you can see the answers rolling in. Here was mine. And then other people are doing this too. Put them in as a teacher or as a student perspective. I try with my students first, then have them. Great, excellent. Letting the student engage as a student before learning the teacher side. I love it. And then if I want to just change this up, I can change this up too. I can see that there are 6 people answering. But then I also have different ways that I can do. I can do one by one where it comes in one answer at a time. I can also do a flowing grid where it just flows through like that. So if I'm in a big group and I have like 100 or 200 different answers coming in, I can do that as well. So that's just Mentimeter. It's a really cool tool. I like to have teachers put that up on the board, and then kids respond to different questions that the teacher is asking. And then, of course, we use Google. We're Google for Education District. We've been like that for 9 years now. And so we use Google Classroom in our district as our LMS, which is just, it's a great tool. You can ask questions in there as well. You can post topics, information, resources, assignments, all that cool stuff on Google Classroom. So if you haven't checked that out, if you are a Google for Education District and you have access to Google Classroom and you've just been hesitant on jumping in, I really highly encourage you to hop in, check it out, and just see what you think of using Google Classroom. We use it with all our students in our district. We've always used it second grade and up because we've been one-to-one with Chromebooks, but this year, because of our remote learning, and we had some kids at home, some kids here face-to-face, we're a hybrid district. So we had even pre-K through first grade using Google Classroom as well with their students. Okay, choice boards and digital menus. So for technology purposes, I love using different choice boards and digital menus. And then Wakelet as well. I'll go to Wakelet in a second. Let's look at choice boards and digital menus. I love to make these for my students and other people in my PLN. If I click on that link, I can get to all of my choice boards that I have put on our blog. Couple of them that I have. The first one I have is a behavior incentive tracker. So what's cool is a teacher will take this and they'll do a whole group. So they'll put this up on their presentation screen or smartboard or using their presenter up there. And then they will have their kids work all day long to move a character on the screen. So it's just, it tracks the behavior, it tracks the template, and you just can make it's a slideshow. So you can make this full screen. And then as the kids complete assignments or as the kids work, it's like the old school, you had the jar and you put the candy in the jar and you fill up the jar and then, hey, everybody, we got up to the line, or the cotton balls, or whatever else you want. It's kind of the same thing. So as the kids work harder during the day or finish things or having great behavior or discipline, you can use the trackers that I've made. I made a Yoda one, a snowman one, and all you're doing is walking up to your computer or using your mouse to click, and it just jumps to a new slide, kind of hidden where you can't see that when you're full screen, and it just builds as you go. Some of them are like 5 steps, some are 10 steps, but that's a behavior tracker that you can use for your classrooms. Another menu I made is a Fortnite menu, which is great for if you're doing like a project or you have a rubric for like a PBL project or something like that, because I have on here a bunch of different areas that the kids can drop. So they click on that first side of where they want to drop into the map, and it may have, okay, complete this assignment using a Powtoon or a Flipgrid. Or I give digital choices, and I also have non-digital choices. So this is a great way to give your students voices choice. The whole template and menu can be easily manipulated and changed and edited. So take that, and there you go. The one that I really like to use for more of a blended learning environment, or if I'm doing station rotation model, I love to use the student choice board that I made right here, because you can edit any of these blocks out. And then I have these little check marks that the kids can drag their check marks across the board as they complete the assignments. So you could use this for a weekly template, a daily template, a theme template. So as long as it's going on, the kids have this. A lot of our teachers push out all of their templates to Google Classroom because it forces each kid to make their own copy. So they have this for the whole week, and they can keep going back into it to do some of the different tasks on their choice boards. And then again, the digital restaurant menu is exactly like that Fortnite menu. It just looks different. And so you can have entrees, you can do an appetizer, you can do a beverage, and work your way through that digital menu there. And then I also have a creative book trailers that has just a bunch of options. I had a teacher that wanted different levels. So they had a level 1, a level 2, and level 3. The kid has the choice to do any of those levels to show their book report, their book trailer, whatever they want to call it. And so you have options. So just giving your kids those voices and those choices. Enjoy. All right. Then Wakelet. I love using Wakelet. I've seen a lot of great Wakelets out there. If you click on that link in my presentation right now, we go to one of our Geek Week sessions that we did this past year in our district, and it's just different tools that we learned from TCA. One of them, of course, being Wakelet. And so we walk you through Wakelet, different things that you can do with Wakelet, making your own research projects, making digital portfolios. And then I also have a Wakelet example from Jolie Boucher, who is amazing at doing everything. And she has a choice board Wakelet that she did at TCEA this past year, which is linked right here. So you can hop in here, you can grab all this cool stuff. So what is Wakelet, by the way, in case you're still wondering, what is he talking about? Wakelet is just, I compare it almost to like a combination of like an old like S'more page. S'more, you can make newsletters. It's kind of set up like that. So you can make a collection. So in our instructional technology world, we've had really good success with the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And over the past couple of years, one of the biggest C's is one that we don't have, but it's our 5th C. Technically, it's called curate. So being able to curate resources for your students or for your peers. If you're an administrator, you can curate all your resources for your teachers and set it up on a Wakelet board. So this is what it looks like. You can also have collaborators that can help you build your Wakelet. So if I click, I can name it, I can have a cover image, I can have a description, but what's cool is on the plus, I can bring in text, I can bring in YouTube videos, I can grab tweets from over here, I can grab bookmarks from over here, I can bring things in from my Google Drive or from my OneDrive, I can add videos, and what happens is, and I can grab things from websites or PDFs, what happens is I'm grabbing all this stuff. I have a unit coming up on animals or something, whatever, if I'm talking about place value coming up. I can grab all those resources, put them and curate them into one Wakelet board and send that Wakelet board out to my kids. So they kind of have like a guided lesson plan that they can go through. You can add text. That's the cool thing. So you can say, okay, go here first and research. Okay, go here and watch these videos. Okay, go here and do that. But it's all in one place, nice and easy in your Wakelet board. So that's why I like using Wakelet. So definitely check that out as well. I have different whiteboards and different manipulatives right here. I was just checking my time real quick just in case. I have 10 more minutes. So digital whiteboards, I have a list right here. Now, which is what's really cool is within Google Meet and a couple other things, you have digital whiteboards built in, which are really nice. It just takes you to another one of my blog posts that walks you through a bunch of different digital whiteboards that your students can use or that you could use up at the board. Bunsey EduCreations is great. I loved using EduCreations when I was using my iPad back in the day. It's a great app to make videos or just to use a digital whiteboard. AutoDraw by Google is one of my favorite quick digital whiteboards to go to. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. This is an example I did with the students. We did a water cycle. So this is really cool to jump in there and go with that. So this was made using Google AutoDraw. The other reason I really love AutoDraw is that with AutoDraw, you can go in there and honestly, I'm just going to show you. Why not? I love it so much. So when you're in AutoDraw, Google AutoDraw, watch what happens. So I'm going to start drawing. I have this one up here first. I don't have the regular draw pen. I have the AutoDraw pen. And watch what happens. So I'm going to draw a shirt. Hopefully it turns out to be a shirt. So here's my shirt. Here's my neckline. So there's my shirt. So what happens is Google or AutoDraw is pulling from its analytics and it's giving me options up here. So this is great for if you're making diagrams or graphs, or if you're making pictures or graphics for your students, or if you're making even a Venn diagram board and you want to do it with a picture-based kind of thing. So what's cool is it's a shirt. I'm a horrible drawer, so I'm just going to choose there is my shirt. I can click on the select tool and then I can resize this. I can put this anywhere on my thing. So this is how I made that graphic for the water cycle. I've had kids go in here and they've made different diagrams. It's really cool for making diagrams. So like Venn diagrams or a plant life diagram, or if you're talking about different type of soils or anything, any kind of diagrams that you can think of. Circle of life diagram, plant life, or whatever. You can have that all in here, and then you can just use the AutoDraw tool and create whatever you want. So if I have kind of like this is a car, by the way. I'm horrible with my mouse, y'all. So that's my car. I need a touchscreen device. That's all I'm saying. You know what? Forget it. I'm amazing with that. Look at that car. I just drew that, by the way. So in case you weren't paying attention, if you have that lag, I drew that. No, I'm just playing. So AutoDraw is great for doing that. The kids love to use it. Another one that I really like other than AutoDraw is also allapp.com. So if I go to allapp.com, it's a great another digital whiteboard that you can start drawing. The main reason I really like this is that you can also invite other students to join you on an all board. So I've had kids like across the room doing tic-tac-toe as fun and free time. And so they were playing like that across the board. But I've also seen students collaborating on a digital whiteboard together. Yes, I'm going to mention it just because I don't have it on my whiteboard section. I think actually on that blog I do, but it's grown in popularity over the past couple of weeks. Jamboard, it's my jam now. I love using Jamboard for digital whiteboards. I knew that people were going to bring that up too. It's a great thing. So check out Jamboard. That's like my cup of tea right now. I love it. It's awesome. So go back to that link right here. You can check out all the other whiteboards that we have listed. Ginzy, All Up, Smartboard. There's Jamboard, of course, I talked about. Classroomscreen.com is wonderful as well for having a digital whiteboard and more tools in that. Math manipulatives. I have a bunch on here. I don't have time to show you all these math manipulatives, but please, please, please get back to my session at bit.ly/TCCATTT. But the one that I have found recently that I really like, let's see, Mathagon manipulatives. That's more for the upper grades. I love that one. If you need some more manipulatives like that, I would also suggest, there's a lot online. You would just have to search specifically if you're in Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 or different geometry type of courses or classes, or if you teach those. All you have to do is type in digital manipulatives for that grade or a subject. And I've seen so many different websites. A lot of these are for the lower grades, but it doesn't hurt to show these in any grade that you go. But the Mathegon is more for an upper grade kind of thing. I like the toy theater manipulatives. So if I go to toy theater, it has tons of geo boards, marble drawers, decimals, fraction strips, circle fractions. They do have some stuff up here for the upper grades. If I scroll down, they have multiplication charts, place values. They have a spinner. They have the interactive clock on this one, which is really cool. So definitely check this out. All these manipulatives are free for you to use. A lot of people just don't know about this website. That's why I wanted to share it with you. But it's really easy to use. It's really cool. Multiplication chart is neat. So if I just hop on here, here's my multiplication chart. 5 times 5 is 25. I can click on a color and I can mark that. So it says 5 times 5. So great for learning multiplication. My child at home is on this with her Chromebook and she goes through it and she loves it as well. So check that one out. Genko Math Manipulatives is a good one as well. All right. I have some bonus tools because I do have 4 more minutes. I'm taking up all my time. And they're letting me know on here too. 2 minutes? I have 4. No, I'm just playing. I'll go by your rules over there. Photofunya, just a great tool. People usually ask me, how can I do a lot of like these graphics? I'm really good with graphics and I love to use graphics. How can I incorporate this more into my classroom? Well, I have kids making digital presentations all the time and they want to make their presentations, Google Slides, pop. They also use Google Drawing a lot too, and they just want to liven up their presentations or their pictures that they do. So I have all those tips here. I love using photo scissors, Google Drawing, graphic tips. I have all that on my list. Let me show you a Photofunya and then I'll wrap this up and be done with you guys today. Don't forget, I have more stuff on here. If you can just keep going down my list. I have more tools that you can hop into and definitely check out. I have my Chrome extensions. So please get back to this presentation. I'll also tweet this out later at Tommy Spall. So let me show you Photofunya and then we will finish up. So what is Photofunya? It's a great, fun website. I do these projects at Valentine's Day with my students. I do it at Christmas. I like the holidays. I do this for graphics. I also like to do this as like PBL entrance things because what it does is it takes any picture. You see where this lady's face is? Wherever that picture is, it'll take your picture and put it where her face is. So if I do like a billboard or if I do a gallery walk, I can take my kids' art photos or their content. If a kid does a really good job in class on doing something or working out a math problem, I'll take a picture of that. I'll bring it in here and I'll put it into a gallery poster. And so it looks like an actual poster to do right here. So it just takes it and puts it in right here, which is really cool. So let me show you an example. So here's this one. So I click on here. I can go to choose photo. I can upload a photo. I don't know what I have on here. Here's a picture of me. Sure. Little vein right there. So I can crop, and then go. And what it does is Photofunya takes me and puts me into that photo. Look at that. Look at that. She's like in awe of the awesomeness and all those tips. No, I'm just playing. So do you take attendance or do I? You know what? I have no idea. I don't, but good luck to you guys. I don't need attendance, but at the bottom of my presentation, once you make it all the way through, I'm going to leave you with this. I do have a bit.ly. If you liked this presentation, if you could just give me some feedback, you can take my bit.ly/Tommy Spall survey and hop on there and you can give me some feedback. You can talk to me. You can send me your email address and I can talk to you. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at Tommy Spall. Again, finally, this presentation is bit.ly/TCCATTT. All right, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you, Tommy. You have been awesome. This has been a great first presentation. And guys, remember, he is going to be available for another presentation. He is going to be do the flippity. So make sure that you check your schedule so that you can actually get in to find out more about what he's actually doing. We hope that you're going to stay with us today. Remember, today's super secret word for today's session is learn. It is case sensitive, so make sure you actually type that into so that you can get your certificate for your professional development hours if you need those. But again, this was Mr. Tom Spall. So he has been awesome with great tools that he's been providing us to actually continue this learning with the new platform and the new reality that we are in. Guys, it's not necessarily bad, it's just making us more creative and more engaging with our learners. So thank you again. Remember, you have more sessions today, and we will see you at the next session.